Alright everybody, welcome to this quick tutorial about how to update some of your settings, especially if you have an Nvidia build. And when it comes to running Star Citizen, it's going to help you get a little bit more frames out of your machine, to a lot more frames out of your machine, depending on what you're running. Now, we have a lot of newcomers that come into this game, and they have their settings set up, and they install the game, they get the launcher, they buy their first ship, and everything like that. Then they run the game and they'll figure out that it's a slideshow and they will just go nuts off of that. And what a lot of people don't realize is that the way that this game is packaged, it isn't packaged like a regular video game. So like it's not packaged like Rainbow Six Siege here or Riot 3 because it's not a complete game yet. So your computer would run it as a simple program rather than a game. But this is how you can optimize your computer settings so that it runs your RSI launcher and Star Citizen through your graphics card rather than through your integrated graphics. So if you right click on your desktop, you'll see the Nvidia control panel. You click the Nvidia control panel and then that'll take about a second or two to load up here, and a little bit more depending on what you're running. But once that finally loads up, you're going to look at you're going to want to go into your manage 3D settings. I think by default, when you first launch into it, it'll be in adjust image settings, and I will speak about this a little bit later, but you want to go into your manage 3D settings tab. You'll have global settings here and program settings. You want to go into program settings. Now, when it comes to the initial install of your game, one thing you definitely want to make sure is in this drop-down list is Squadron 42. When I first installed Squadron 42, it was not inside of this drop-down list. So every time I ran the game, I was only running at 30 frames per second maximum. And if I got to anywhere like Lorville or, Levski or anything like that, it would definitely drop down to the teens, and that drove me crazy despite having a great build. So if you're in this drop-down list and you don't see Squadron 42, what you definitely want to do is go into Add, and you want to check this list right here. If you still don't see it here, then you want to browse, go into your C drive, program files, scroll down, go to the Robert Space Industries folder, Star Citizen, Live, or PTU, depending on which build you're doing, but mainly go into Live build, your binary folder, and then you'll see Star Citizen EXE right here. You click that, you press open, and then once you press open, that's going to put that program in this list right here. Once it's in this list, you find Star Citizen EXE, and then you press add selected program. Once you've added selected program, it's going to wind up in this drop-down list. Now, once it's in this drop-down list, go to your Squadron 42, and then you can adjust all of the settings for that. Now, because this game isn't finished or optimized, I choose not to touch these settings. I keep it on global settings for as many things as possible and just let the game decide where it needs to run best, and it's pretty much automatic for me. However, if you do want to adjust the image quality for a much finer resolution, you can go into adjust image settings, and as you see right here, I have it already on quality over performance. If you're running a build with a little bit less CPU power or a little bit less GPU power there, by default, it's going to be in the middle. It's going to be on average. You can put it more towards performance. It's going to give you a more pixelated look, as you see right here, but it's going to give you more frames per second. If you have a beefier build and you know your computer can handle it, slide the slider from average to quality, and that's going to sharpen up. It's going to definitely sharpen up some of those things right there. And there are other YouTube videos out there that will better explain what you can do with all of these great settings right here to get a better picture. However, I'm just going to keep this one very simple just because it's for the initial install of Star Citizen. Now, once all of these things are done, you got it right here. You got this installed for Squadron 42. You can exit out of your Nvidia control panel and launch into the game. Once you launch into the game, you let everything load up. It's going to go a lot faster. It's going to be a lot smoother for you. All right. And this is one of the biggest things that new people who get into the game or people who install the game for the first time often overlook, and it's one of those critical things that you don't want to overlook because it's how you get the most out of your machine or out of your build. So here I am in loading into universe, and one thing I like to add in is if you are running this game is very CPU and memory type intensive. So if you're running on anything but an SSD or an M.2, you're not going to get the best out of this game. It has to be installed on the SSD or an M.2, and you definitely want a CPU that's more than capable of 3 megahertz or better right there. Of course, if you have the i7, or whatever your best, Ryzen build is, you can definitely do that, especially with the newer Ryzen chips. They have definitely caught up. Oh, I think I am still inside my ship, which is actually surprising because I logged out of live 3 days ago. I ain't been in live in a while, and I seem to still be inside of my Constellation Phoenix. But as you see, I am getting very smooth frames per second. Everything is going really nicely. Ooh, it's hard running in this view. Let me see where the heck I am right quick, but this is what it's all about. It's all about making sure you have the best frames and the most optimal frames possible. And this is what you want. You don't want Star Citizen being a slideshow, so the best way to do that is, of course, to make sure you adjust those settings properly. Fire up the engines here. And there we go. Everything is running good. Everything is looking pretty smooth. All right. So that's just a quick tutorial about how you can really optimize your settings. I'm gonna turn this shit back off and log out in my bed since I came and woke up in my bed, which is actually surprised me. But once again, if you like this tutorial, you can put a thumbs up on it and definitely share this with as many people as possible. You get a lot of new players who get into Star Citizen and they miss this critical step right here. So if you definitely understand what's needed, or you definitely want to share this information with them, please share it with them. It'll definitely help them out. All right. So once again, this is Charlie Thomas, also known as ULTRA-Kratos from the Org Ultra and Star Citizen. And thank you for watching this video. Until next time, peace.